Blessed risings, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where in the world you are tapping in from. You got to keep in mind that Keep It P podcast is a global show, and today we'll be discussing Arbery shooter fears he'll be killed in state prison. Ain't that the fears any black person has going to prison? We got fears of being killed in our car, behind the wheel, traffic stop, entering our home, cell phone in our hand, and we're supposed to care that you're fearful about your safety going to prison as a convicted murderer. Unpack that for a second. How high is your privilege? How high is your white supremacy that you believe that this is even newsworthy? Look at even the media covering this, that the ravings of a lunatic, the misgrievings of the mentally ill are being published, and his concerns are being validated even. Shout out J Lava. It's not. Hold on. Shout out J Lava. We're not trying to tell you how to think. We're not telling you what to think. Our program doesn't do that. We show you how to think, how to unpack what's being read and said, to decipher the nonsense, the mail-splain. Hello, McFlizzle. Now, somehow, these fears have conjured up The View. Some reason, The View is an integral part of this article, somehow. So let's hear what The View has to say about his fears of going to prison, as though there's no white supremacy groups in prison that would gladly welcome him in and keep him safe. Fish sticks, there's mayo, and fair use, because I don't need y'all's hot garbage. But before we play the video, I have a short message about these reparations, because this is something we wouldn't even have to worry about, being shot down like dogs, hunted with reparations. 20 trillion. Do you believe that you deserve it? And if you do, then your signature should be on the petition.
Be one to the family. This is Kendra Blackwood of Hot Lava Music TV and the Hot Lava Media Group. And I come to you today with an urgent call to action. And with that being said, this petition is to demand the US government immediately make anti-black racism a public health crisis is now an active campaign at change.org. And after this message, I'm going to need you to go over there and show your support. Right after you smash that like and subscribe if you have not already. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications. It doesn't cost you a thing. Now, this is a petition to demand cash reparations for foundational Black Americans addressing two critical components. So what is anti-Black racism? Anti-Black racism is defined here as policies and practices rooted in American institutions such as government, finance, education, healthcare, and justice that mirror and reinforce economic deprivation, racially targeted laws, beliefs, attitudes, prejudice, stereotyping and/or discrimination toward foundational Black Americans. What is a public health crisis, you ask? Well, a health crisis or public health crisis is a difficult situation or complex health system that affects humans in one or more geographic areas, from a particular locality to encompass the entire planet. Health crises generally have significant impacts on community health.
20 trillion dollars. Come on down, right? If your grandma hasn't signed this, you are not doing your part. That's right. If you haven't made this trickle throughout your family, that's how the others do it. They force it on them. They make them. Put it in front of the people, make them sign it, P. You would do it for some tickets for a concert. You would do it for some tickets to get in line to buy the Jordans. We got to start punching our own ticket. Reparations. Thank you. My most esteemed colleague, Kendra Blackwood, in the place to be. Let's hear this drag.
2 years ago, they down and killed Ahmaud Arbery. And yesterday, those 3 men were all found guilty of federal.
He's out for a jog, P. You worried about being killed in prison as a convicted murderer because you just killed somebody who was simply jogging, exercising.
Hate crimes. Good. It's kind of, it's great. It does happen. It does happen.
It does happen. They had so many racist notes going back.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day. You will get no rah-rah sis kumbas. See, that's reminiscent of the pearls and the chucks. People bending down on bending knee for the George Floyd, for the Derek Chavez guilty verdict. Y'all on bending knee and you're snotting.
Yeah. The guy is trapped.
Yeah.
Kind of trapped. Now you're trapped. Now
And
you're
I think
trapped.
that's what got them, because hate crimes are very difficult to prosecute. When I was at DOJ, we just rarely did it because we didn't have evidence of what was going on.
She black, right? Is she supposed to be black? We didn't prosecute hate crimes because we didn't know what was going in their mind. But if you say ching chong, we know what's going on in your mind. That's a hate crime. But if you say nigger, nope, that's not a hate crime because we know what's going on in your mind. Hello, McFlizzle, make it make sense, please.
In their minds at the time, right? So it's very hard to prove intent. It's hard to prove that rape.
Right. So it's very clear. You're not. Look at her mayo explaining. She put some barbecue sauce on it now, so it's not mayo anymore. You sound crazy explaining for white supremacy.
Race or religion or gender, sexual orientation was part of the reason why they committed the crime. And I think the stats are 1 in 5. Only 1 in 5 cases are prosecuted.
Which speaks to how egregious.
What's the number for black hate crimes being prosecuted? That is not 1 in 5. It's 1 in 5 when you add in the sexual, the harassment, the gay stuff. When you add in all the alphabet crew stuff, well, then there you go, 1 in 5. But I bet it's like 1 in 50 for prosecuting anti-black racism.
Just the evidence was that they were able to prove it. And I think until hate has consequences, we're going to keep seeing it everywhere.
You think, Mrs. White Lady? You think? Until anti-black racism is prosecuted, until there's consequences, how's there going to be consequences for people who built the racist system. Now let's keep in mind they didn't build no justice system. They built a system. It's definitely not just. They always steal bits and pieces of a working system and they change it to make it work for them and no one else.
And I think that this was, it's not a win because we've lost a life, but in the column of hate crimes, this set little precedent.
Well, and it's also...
It sets no precedent. It sets no precedent. You barely even made happen with all the abundance of evidence. And there's been plenty other cases with abundance of evidence and they still walk, right? We can go back to even Rodney King. We can go to Emmett Till, that it's been proven, yet no consequences.
So I think important that with cameras being so ubiquitous now,
Ubiquitous.
there was actual footage of what they did. Without that footage,
it don't matter about footage. You're gonna say that? See, that's what I'm saying. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Well, as long as it's on tape, it's all good. No, it's not. That's not true. Tape doesn't matter. Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice, we still see the car rolling, blah, blah, blah. But you got the little Jewish boy in New Jersey pulling out the strap and everybody act like it was nothing. Oh, it's just playing around. Oh, we didn't know. Nobody blowed. Nobody called the police saying there was a man with a gun. That the boy clearly looks like a toddler almost.
They do the
they did it themselves.
Yeah, and then they sent it to friends.
And
sent it to people.
Because they have such privilege in their heads that they're going to get away with everything.
We had writings for a long time saying the most awful things you can imagine.
Plenty of people got writings saying the horrible things and then go and commit anti-black racism. The police department, aka the slave patrol. Oh, they didn't mean it like that. Oh, you got to get the rest of the context. Oh, you only played one bit of it. Oh, I'd like to see the rest of the video. Oh, they shouldn't have been resisting arrest. Oh, they shouldn't have tried to flee, so we had to shoot them in the back, although the threat was fleeing.
I suspect that if the work was done to really look into, because it's pretty clear when something's, at least to me these days, it's very clear when something's a hate crime now.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel
very clear. Let's be clear. Hate crimes are very obvious, committed against black people. It's really obvious when you got, you know what's not obvious is when it's a hate crime against Asians. But it seems to be so obvious to everyone else. Go back to China, that's a hate crime. You know how long black people have been told go back to Africa, and it's never been considered a hate crime and nor a racial slur. Ching chong? You could call a black person a monkey, a gorilla, and you're all good. You say ching chong, that's not even a word, it's a sound. My doorbell makes the sound ching chong. But that's a hate crime.
like it takes to get in and say, you know, this is not what we want. People hitting, well, but
it's
if
hard
you
to prove
Intent.
it's hard to prove.
I don't know.
Unfortunately, it's still the case. It's hard to prove. I think people.
Hard to prove intent. You guys do it to the Asians. 94-1 crime bill. Anytime any little light is said, it's a hate crime. The COVID came from the Runid came from whoop-de-wham. If you say it came over there from CHINA, it's over. That's a hate crime. We blocked if we say uvid, if we say any of that. I can't even say the number 9 I can't say that. But you got videos all on YouTube. You can nigger all you want, and you good. You can monkey. You can talk about coons as far as when white supremacy says it, because when white supremacy says it, they're talking about all black people. And when I say all black people, I'm talking about FBA. Let's be clear about that.
I think people want to believe that people are better.
Yes, but we see that they're
No, people don't know. Only when it comes to stop. Only when that comes to black people, P. Stop. Stop it. When you see that your white counterpart is up there for killing a black person, you really want to get up there and clap and give them a standing ovation. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You know that they did a wrong thing, but it's a good thing because you hate black people.
not. People walking up to 70-year-olds and punching them.
Yeah.
You know?
There has been an increase in hate crime against black people, against Jews, against Asians.
See? Why we just can't talk about black people? Ain't this story about anti-black racism? Ain't this about Ahmaud Arbery? Ain't that who this is about? How all of a sudden did we segue to Jewish people, to Asian people? When we're talking about Asian hate crimes, it's very easy and simple to stay on subject. You only talk about that. When you talk about immigration, when you talk about rights for Mexicans, for illegals, for Latin, Latinx, it's very clear. You keep it on subject. You stay on topic. Soon as you start talking about black people, it's BIPOC, it's indigenous, it's people of color, it's minorities, it's black and brown coalition, it's can't we all just get along? It's we're in this together. It's arriba, don't you? Right? Anything black is for everyone. Anybody else in their group, it's for their group, and that's it.
And I hope that now we'll see more of these cases these people be arrested and convicted.
Well, and it depends on who does it.
See, Whoopi. See, what happened with Whoopi is she got a little. See. So now you remember that you're black. Just a little. She remembered she's black just a little bit. Sonny going to lunch. It's over. She wants no parts of being black. I'm done. She threw in the black towel. She waved it up. The black towel. I'm done. I'm finished. I don't want no more of this. And then she waved the white one. I'm over here. White is right. White is right.
Because, of course, we have the very famous case here in New York with another one caught on camera.
Yeah.
And, Eric Gardner. Yeah. We saw what it was. We saw it. It's kind of clear, but...
Right. Did we go in to see their messages? We did. They had similar derogatory messages in regards to black people. What happened to them? Nothing. In fact, they're doing quite well financially. Speaking of course, they're doing quite well. GoFundMes and other endeavors that they have profited off of being race soldiers.
Well, maybe not. Well, I think maybe so.
And I will tell you, most hate crimes are not even reported. They're really reported.
Stop it. When there's a hate crime against black folks, we gonna report it, P. But you know what? It is under report it because you're not going to do nothing. And and that's why we run up and do, folks. It's pull up season. Hashtag pull up season. We got t-shirts and everything to represent that we not playing. You run up, you get done up. I ain't saying don't tell y'all not to report it, but I'm telling you that when you report it, that's an interaction with the slave patrol, and you have a 50-50 chance in any interaction with the slave patrol to be executed. Because that's their job. To capture said slave, put said slave back in their place. And if said slave refuses to be put back in their place, they have permission and authorization to use any force necessary. Sound familiar? Shout out Malcolm X. By any means necessary. See that? They always stealing. See, we been on by any means necessary, right? But then you got watered down so-called black folks, tetheroni juice, buffalo jerky, cheetah pea, all amongst us, blending.
Much like rape. Rape is the least reported crime in our country. Next.
How we get to rape? How we get to rape? This whole article is supposed to be about Ahmaud Arbery's killer being fearful of being killed in prison. Although you got a whole white supremacy calculation in prison, I don't know why you would be scared when they got a whole clique that's ready to welcome you like a king. Stop it.
Hate crimes.
Well, it seems to me things are changing. People are reporting more. They're telling us what's going on, and I think we have to pay attention to it and have people explain why it's not a hate crime. Because there are so many things that feel very clear. Where people say, no, we can't tell. It's like, well, okay, explain to me why.
Why is it only black that you can't tell? The little girls on the bus, on the white woman, who I'm sure said something crazy to them. They didn't just get on the bus and say, hey, white women, we hate you. Ping, 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 ping. No, they said, we tired of you white folks. You get on our nerves and we can't stand you. Because the white woman was being racist. And they said, man, I can't stand white people. And you got a two-piece for running your yaps, and you probably ran up and you got done up.
I think that's a good thing we should start doing. Keep reporting these things, because that's the only way we know what's going on. The only way we can try to get in front of it and maybe stop it is if we tell.
Hold on. So you think videos is going to help us get in front of anti-black racism? You lost me. I can't even do it no more. You lost me. I'm gone, P. That's it. I ain't got nothing else for y'all. I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm just gonna mold you, scold you, and fold you, because I done told you about being on code. You just heard what you heard. It is what it is. What did we learn today, boys and girls? White privilege is a motherfucking dog. And we learned all skin folk ain't kin folk. And I definitely went about to read this garbage article and all that mail explain that they was doing. They're bringing up George Floyd and this, that, and the third. Come on. Nope. I just wanted to show you, too, how what the View had to do with this article. This all how they try to brainwash you, P. This is all part of the lamestream media's tactics. And our job here at Keep It P Podcast is to, one, expose it, two, show you how to expose it on your own so that you can break it down for your family and loved ones, and we can all be on code. Not unity, code, on code. Every community, every race has it. They're not in full unity. They beef all the time. I'll show you the Mexican on Mexican crime, white on white crime, Asian on Asian crime. It's crime is of proximity. Who are you closest to? People usually that look like you. Right. But you know what they do when it comes against you black people? They all form together like Voltron and they get on code against you black people, all while we are not on code. And we need to be. I love y'all. Love, peace, blessings, and aloha. Go get you a shirt or something. You gotta pay these bills now. We trying to stay independent now, but y'all making it hard now. This is how the black programs end up. They end up getting infiltrated because they need the revenue to stay going now to deliver the message. But at what cost? To sell your soul and to sell out your people? Not here. Help us, help us, help us. We got y'all.
We need to go out here and say exactly what we want. And we got to say it with our chest. And we kind of start pussyfooting around, and we got to stop being scared to say exactly what we want, what we need. We need that paper. Say it with your chest. Damn all that. We need justice. We need y'all to love us.